In the quiet town of Norwich, England, few things ever truly happen. A peaceful community, neat brick houses, children in uniforms walking to school under cloudy skies. Everything seemed ordinary, until one October afternoon, when a place meant for discipline became a scene of horror. The murder in the detention room would shake the entire country. It began, like most tragedies, with something seemingly small: a missed homework, a teacher's frustration, and a student's grudge. The victim, Helen Porter, age 38, an English teacher at St. Mary's Grammar School, beloved by parents, respected by colleagues, but as police would soon learn, feared by a few of her students. At exactly 3:47 p.m. on October 14th, the caretaker found her lying on the cold classroom floor inside the school's detention room. The door was locked from the inside, and she was already gone. Her wristwatch had stopped at 3:33 p.m. That detail would later haunt the investigators. When the news broke, the headline spread across British tabloids: "Teacher found dead inside locked classroom, mystery in Norwich school." At first, it was thought to be a heart attack. Helen was known to stay late marking essays and managing detentions, but when the paramedics arrived, they noticed something chilling: the bruising on her neck. Someone had strangled her. Detective Mark Ellison of the Norfolk Constabulary was assigned the case. A calm man with 20 years of experience, he'd seen domestic cases, robberies, even organized crime, but never a murder inside a school classroom. His first question was simple: who could have stayed behind after classes? St. Mary's Grammar was known for strict discipline. The detention room was always locked at 3:30 p.m. sharp. After the last bell, only teachers had keys. Only Helen Porter and one other staff member, Deputy Headmaster Daniel Shaw, had access. When questioned, Daniel appeared calm, almost too calm. He said he was in a meeting with the head teacher until 3:45. Confirmed by two staff members. He'd last seen Helen around 3:15, heading toward the detention room with a pile of student essays. But when police checked the CCTV footage from the school corridor, something strange appeared. At 3:18 p.m., the camera showed a figure wearing a gray hoodie slipping into the corridor leading to the detention room. The footage was grainy, no face visible, but the gait was familiar. Detective Ellison paused the footage. He had seen that walk before. Helen had been supervising a detention for 4 students that day, all boys, ages 15 to 17. They were held for various reasons: missed assignments, rude behavior, vandalism. But only 3 students signed the detention register. The 4th, Elliot Brooks, had been marked absent that morning. Yet CCTV from the front gate showed Elliot entering the school grounds at 3:10 p.m. Why would a student return to school after hours? And on the same day, his teacher was murdered? Police visited Elliot's home that evening. His mother opened the door, pale and shaking. She said Elliot had been home by p.m., quiet, withdrawn. He hadn't spoken much since news of Miss Porter's death broke. When questioned, Elliot claimed he went to school to retrieve his lost phone charger. He denied entering the detention room, but when detectives asked him which entrance he used, his answer didn't match the CCTV footage. And then came the real clue. In his backpack, a small piece of red string, the same type used to tie the blinds in the detention room windows. Detective Ellison ordered a forensic sweep. The room was sealed off, desks untouched, chalk dust still on the board reading, "Silence is golden." But the crime scene told its own story. There were no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints on the inside of the window, and yet, the room had been locked from within. How did the killer escape? Forensics later revealed a thin metal wire had been used to manipulate the lock from outside, a trick anyone could learn online. So, the killer had staged it to look like a locked room mystery. Meanwhile, whispers began to spread through Norwich. Parents pulled their children from school. Rumors claimed Helen had been having an affair with a fellow teacher. Others said she'd uncovered something scandalous. And one rumor hit the police desk like a storm. Helen Porter had reported a bullying incident involving Elliot Brooks just 3 days before her death. When investigators searched her email account, they found an unsent draft written the night before she died. It read, "Daniel, I can't stay silent anymore. You know what's happening with Elliot. If you won't take action, I'll go to the police myself. but she never sent it. The school's internal email logs showed that at 3:29 p.m., Helen's computer went into sleep mode right before she was killed. The unsent message suggested that Deputy Head Daniel Shaw had known something was happening, something he didn't want exposed. When police brought Daniel back for questioning, his calmness cracked. He admitted Helen had confronted him about Elliot. Elliot, he said, was the son of a school board member, a man who funded major renovations at St. Mary's. Any report of violence or bullying could tarnish the school's reputation. Daniel had asked Helen to handle it quietly, but Helen, principled and uncompromising, refused. She planned to file a formal report. So, when Elliot was told he'd be expelled for misconduct, he snapped. His friends said he'd felt humiliated, especially after rumors spread that Miss Porter had called him a danger to others. The next day, she was dead. Forensic testing confirmed the bruising on Helen's neck matched the pattern of a thin cord consistent with the same red string found in Elliot's bag. When confronted, Elliot denied it again. He cried, begged, swore he was innocent. But one thing sealed his fate. A partial fingerprint on the classroom's door handle hidden under a layer of dust matched his. And inside the pocket of his hoodie, police found a small key. It opened the back storage cupboard in the detention room. The same cupboard police believe he hid in before the bell rang. At 3:30 p.m., when everyone left, Helen locked the door, unaware that her killer was already inside. When she turned to collect her papers, he emerged from the shadows. She never stood a chance. The court proceedings took 6 months. The prosecution argued Elliot had planned the murder out of anger and humiliation. The defense pleaded diminished responsibility, citing emotional distress and neglect at home. But the evidence was too strong. On June 22, 2022, Elliot Brooks was convicted of murder and sentenced to life imprisonment, with a minimum term of 14 years. In court, his final words were quiet but chilling. "She shouldn't have embarrassed me." After the trial, more details emerged. The school had ignored multiple complaints about bullying. Emails between staff revealed efforts to cover up incidents to protect the school's image. The deputy head, Daniel Shaw, resigned soon after. Helen Porter's family established the Porter Foundation, an initiative against bullying and violence in schools. Every October, St. Mary's Grammar holds a memorial assembly. Students light candles in the detention room, now permanently closed. But locals still whisper that on stormy afternoons, when rain hits the windows, the faint echo of a woman's voice can be heard in the corridor reciting the same line she once wrote on the blackboard. Silence is golden, but truth is louder. And for those watching this tonight, remember, if you see someone being hurt, silenced, or bullied, speak up. Don't let fear win. Don't wait until it's too late. Because sometimes, silence kills.